to know that you are living and you are here with us. Again, I am your Detroit City Council President, Brenda Jones, and it is my pleasure and my honor to be here with my fellow at-large council member, Janae Ayers, also a friend, Janae Ayers. We both are strong advocates for the city of Detroit supporting our small businesses with contracting and hiring opportunities. The purpose of this afternoon's outreach is to learn about employment opportunities for Detroit residents with the General Services Department, GSD contractors, and other City of Detroit departments. The second part of this outreach will be for restaurant owners and other interested parties who want to obtain an outdoor cafe permit. After remarks from my friend and my colleague, Councilmember Janae Ayers, Toni Stewart-Limmitt will give us an overview of the Office of Contracting and Procurement. And my other good buddy, Mr. Jamal Harrison of the General Services Department, will talk about employment opportunities in his department.
Yes.
Good afternoon again. Take it away, Councilmember Ayers.
All right, well, thank you, Council President. And as you stated, it's always a good opportunity for us to connect with folks. And these, even though it's different, we're still doing what we need to do because we support all of our businesses and we want to support Detroiters and want to make sure that people have an opportunity to be gainfully employed. So thank you, Jamal, for being here. Moses, I see you here. Moses is in D1, right down the street from where I grew up at. So we've got a lot of good things that I'm sure we're going to discuss here, and just a lot of amazing opportunities. And so again, for everyone that is watching and those that have called in to participate, we appreciate you and we thank you. So I have the pleasure of introducing my friend, Miss Toni Stewart-Limmitt, who is representing the Office of Contracting and Procurement. So Toni, take it away.
Thank you, Councilmember Ayers, and thank you, Council President Brenda Jones, for having me today. I am Toni Stewart-Limmitt from the Office of Contract and Procurement, and my job is to make sure that we procure all of the items that the city needs. And what that means is if any of the departments need buses, if they need pens, pencils, paper, fuel, vacant lot cutting, those are all of the items that comes through our office here in the Office of Contract and Procurement. Medical supplies, masks. We work with a lot of different contractors, and today we had the opportunity to bring in the department so that they can kind of help you understand what those requirements are. We received the scope of work actually from the department. So we'll have Jamal Harris kind of go over some of the things that his department looks for when we're putting out the bids for everyone to submit. So in my office, we'd like to help you today to understand how do you actually submit those bids? Where do you go? The Office of Contract and Procurement has a site that you can visit. It's www.detroit.mi.gov/supplier. And on that page, it has all of the information, whether it's registration that you need. If you've never done business, that would be the first thing that you want to do, is to make sure that you register with us. You want to make sure that you go to that site so that you can set up whatever the service is that you can provide for the city. So you'll receive a notification at the time that anyone has an opportunity from the various departments so that you can submit your bid. The qualifications that you will need will also be listed in that bid. So you'll make sure that you have the skills and ability that is needed to perform that service. You want to make sure that you have the required equipment. That information will be also listed in the bid for you. You want to make sure that you have trained and dependable staff so that they can work with the department whenever you actually receive this award, so that you can provide the service that they're actually looking for. If you have any required licensing, which would be listed in the scope of work, you want to make sure that you submit that documentation as well, so that the department can know that you are actually qualified to provide this service. You must have a project manager, and we ask that you have a valid driver's license. In the Office of Contract and Procurement, some of the things that we have done is implemented some strategies to help our contractors receive those contracts. Some of those strategies are the supply schedule, implementation of that, which we had Council President Brenda Jones and Councilmember Ayers and the members of council support us with that. And what the supply schedule does is it sets aside contracts, and 30% of all those contract dollars will be set aside for Detroit certified businesses. We are implementing these digital outreaches so that we can come to you and make sure that you understand where to go in order to place your bid, so that you can have an opportunity to bid on all of the City of Detroit contracts. We are actually making sure that people work with our Civil Rights and Inclusion Department for joint ventures. If you don't have it, you can partner with somebody in order to win these various contracts that we have here in the City of Detroit. And with that said, I would like to turn it over to Jamal to kind of give you a little bit of information as to what his department requires. If you ever need any information regarding the Office of Contract and Procurement, you can always reach out to me at Limmitt, L-I-M-M-I-T-T-L at detroitmi.gov. Jamal, you want to talk about what the requirements or some of the requirements that the General Service Department provides us with when we're submitting the bids?
Sure. First of all, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Council President Jones and Council Member Ayers. It's a pleasure to be with you guys this evening. Thank you for this opportunity. Over at General Services, it is our department's pretty vast, and so we cover a myriad of things, and I'll just name them real quickly. We manage the fleet for the City of Detroit. That's all of the police cars, employee cars, staff vehicles, and some of the fire department vehicles as well. We manage all of the grounds, all of the grass cutting. We manage all of the facilities, all of the buildings. We manage blight as well as golf and security. And so as the summer comes, you know, these opportunities come forward for the City of Detroit for us to gainfully employ the qualified candidates for the City of Detroit. And we are currently a little low on what we normally would be at this time last year. We are actually at 50% capacity of where we would normally be due to COVID. It's really put a pin in us this time and let the air out of us. And so we're trying to regroup and get back and get these parks cut, get these medians cut, get these berms cut, get these golf courses cut and managed and maintained, and get all these things done that the city is so used to having. We have a beautiful city, and it is my responsibility to keep it beautiful. So I need Detroiters' help. We got to get these people in here. We got to get these people employed. We got to get them managing this city with us. And we have 2 opportunities that we're hiring for right now, immediately. I am going to let Stacey Olivache describe what these positions are. And after she describes these positions, I'll come back and I'll give you some reassurance on what we have prepared for you during COVID. So we have put certain safety measures in place. We have done an excellent job of maintaining a nice supply of personal protection equipment so that no one's at risk. And so after Stacey gives her update on the 2 positions and the qualifications, and we are hiring immediately, I will come back and give the encouragement of how we're going to keep you guys safe.
Thank you, Jamal. Before we go with Stacey, I kind of wanted to talk to Mr. Moses about the bidding process. So Mr. Shephard, I know you've had an opportunity to bid on some nice contracts with the City of Detroit. And so if you could just give us a little bit of background about yourself and your company. And just one of the things that's important is there are a lot of Detroiters that are listening who have never submitted a bid or who have that fear. What advice could you give to them about bidding on Detroit contracts.
Before he starts, and good afternoon, good evening, Mr. Shephard. You know, it's always a good thing to see you and know that you're doing business with the city of Detroit. That just lights my heart up every time I think about that. And you know why I say that. So we'll leave that one to be our own little secret, but I am so happy that you are doing business with the city of Detroit. And I just want to say that Mr. Shephard is truly, he's a perfect example of a Detroit-based business that took advantage of the information he received, at another small business empowerment fair. And he truly did his due diligence. He followed the process, and he was awarded the contract. He talked to council members. He talked to council member Ayers. He talked to me. He followed the process, and he was awarded the contract. And so it's just a good thing to know that you were awarded that contract. So take it over, Mr.
Well, thank you very much. Great to see you as always, and I really appreciate the kind words. As you know, I'm born and raised in the city of Detroit. Been here all my life. Don't plan on going anywhere else. Even after I retire, I may buy something out of state somewhere, but I'm still going to live here. My first and foremost passion is real estate. I own a lot of the apartment buildings in the neighborhoods. You know, when the markets start crashing, people start running away from the city, and I tried to dive in and see if I can help stabilize the neighborhoods. And I continue to do that today, and continue to plan on doing it. That led me into the fuel business. I used to, years ago, I used to work for a company where I actually ran about maybe, I think 9 or 10 of their convenience store gas stations. And it became very passionate for me to do that, because I saw these places go from, negative earnings to, high positive earnings. And it was just something I really wanted to do. Never got it out of my system. So, when I got into the fuel business, I wondered if I was able to do business with the city of Detroit. So I put myself in a position. It took me a couple of years. I put myself in a position. You guys actually were under contract with another company. And I lined my company and my staff and everybody that surrounded me up, so we could be able to, bid on a contract of this size and magnitude. As far as a minority fuel supplier, I think it's only maybe my company and there's one other guy out of Ohio, I believe, as far as an African-American fuel supplier. I think that needs to change. I think that we need more people of color into, businesses that we're not really in. And, the bidding process, it was tough, but
To say the least.
That's right. It was tough to say the least, but, it was something that I wanted to do, so either I had to step up to the plate or not, and now that I have, it's much more easier than I thought it would be. And this particular, me doing business with the city and has helped me actually to start doing business probably outside of Michigan. We're planning to expand to Houston. We got a call from Dallas last week. We're going to South Carolina. They've been calling us. We actually have a Zoom call tomorrow with the mayor of Dallas. So they're really interested in looking at us to be able to do some things similar to Detroit. I think that they were really impressed that Detroit gave Ace Petroleum an opportunity to be able to provide fuel for them, and it's going to spread out.
And I just have to say this, because I had this discussion with Mr. Shephard, and we, and I said this today on a Zoom call earlier with some developers. We, everybody always wants to do business downtown, but there is more community than there is downtown. And so I just appreciate everything that you do in the community. Not downtown, your business is your headquarters, your office is right on 6 Mile.
That's right.
you're right in the neighborhood, right in the community. And so I just truly appreciate everything that you do. And I had to add that because people get discouraged when they say there's nothing downtown, there's no place for me downtown, but there is more community space in place than there is downtown. There's more miles in the community than there is downtown Detroit. So thank you for everything that you do. But I'm gonna be quiet.
So Mr. Shephard, can you talk about like opportunities for Detroiters with your company or anything like that, and how would they reach out to you?
Yeah, sure. You know, right now we're looking for bookkeepers and accountants, and they can either fax the resume over to 313-538-3901, or it can be emailed to sales@acepetroleummi.com. And we want them to have probably anywhere from 3 to 5 years of billing experience, accounts payable and accounts receivable experience. You need that. Doesn't necessarily have to be in the fuel business, but you know, they can be trained if they have the experience.
Give that phone number again, please, and that email address.
The fax number is 313-538-3900. The email address is sales@acepetroleummi.com.
Thank you, Tony. Still your floor. I just wanted him to repeat that.
Okay, thank you. And in closing remarks, is there anything that you can talk about, like your process for your certification? How did the certification process help you to land the contract that you had?
Well, you know, my company is certified as a minority supplier through the National Minority Supplier Development Council. And we're also certified with the City of Detroit. And if you know how to read, you'll be able to, you follow step by step, and you put it together, you put the application in, you do exactly what you're supposed to do, and 9 times out of 10, you should be approved. And I mean, I think it's a good thing. I think that we need more, Detroiters and, Detroit-based contractors. To my understanding, I think that they have about, even with the building, the construction going on downtown, if they don't use a certain amount of Detroiters, they're being penalized. And I think that some of them probably actually build the penalty into the cost of doing business. This is what I was told. However, I think that if our contractors are trained properly, I think that would definitely change.
Okay.
Yeah. You have a lot of contractors. I mean, you got contractors that have much more experience in what they do than what I do, and still can't get a contract, which I don't think is fair. I think that the city is a 80% Black city, and we really don't own a whole lot of the city. I mean, just like when I was coming up as far as real estate, I did everything I could to go downtown. I actually bought the biggest building in Midtown, and now it's called the Strathmore Hotel, but that was my building. I bought that building before, and I could not maneuver. There was another building that I wanted to buy on Woodward, 1500 Woodward. I put an offer in on that building, and I didn't receive that building. Yes, it's where the John Barbados store is, and the Wright & Company restaurant upstairs.
Okay.
I had an opportunity to buy that building. I didn't win that bid, but I lost the bid for $200,000 less than what I bid it. So that encouraged me to stay in my lane, which was the neighborhood. And I started going in the neighborhood, and I started buying blocks and blocks and blocks of apartment buildings. And it was what I knew how to do. So today, I own a lot of apartment buildings. I house a lot of people. I mean, I think I feel better about what I do. I'm really not interested in going downtown yet. There's a few things that I want to do downtown, and I'm sure it could be a success. But for right now, I'm still buying the neighborhood, and I'm going to continue to do that.
Thank you, Mr. Shepherd. We certainly appreciate you and appreciate you not leaving the city and being a strong example of what a Detroiter really is all about. And so I admire you and I thank you for that. And like I said, you're right down the street from my mama's house. So,
But you got to stop in and see me then.
I know, right? So yeah, and you got my favorite Chinese food place, but that's neither here nor there. But I do want to go back over to Jamal. Did you talk about the scope of the employment for GSD before I go over to Stacey?
Well, the scope is based on what I sat down with Rosemary Edwards, who is my superintendent for ground maintenance. And so we are the ones that do all the grass cutting. And so I have a vehicle operator seasonal position in the General Services Department, vehicle operator 1 rather. It is a position that we are hiring for immediately. You will need a CDL because you're going to be pulling a trailer for these, what we call our large lawnmowers and our large equipment. And then I do have also a position as a laborer. It's called a laborer aide for maintenance helper, seasonal position. These are those that ride in the truck with that driver to go out and do the mowing, to do the grass clipping and the weed whacking and the trash pickup and all of that. And so we have a total of 85 positions available, looking to fill right away. And so because we are about a month and a half behind our cutting schedule than what we would normally do. We are on an aggressive cutting schedule. We're doing what we call a 21-day schedule, which means we're cutting the entire city every 21 days. That's an aggressive schedule. And so we need the help to complete that schedule so that I can keep my boss off my back and he can keep his boss off his back, and we can keep Detroit looking beautiful as it is. We have a beautiful, beautiful city. And too oftentimes that's not displayed in the media. But so what we want to do is our very best to make Detroit look as beautiful as it actually is.
All right, so we definitely have Detroit if you're out here listening and you tuned in with us, Mr. Shepherd is telling you if you have bookkeeping and billing experience, there's positions for you there. The city, we're telling you, we have positions in ground maintenance and we need you. So Council President, we need to kick it over to Stacey Olivache from Human Resources.
Hello, thank you for inviting me, Toni. Hello, Council President and Councilmember Ayers and everyone on the call. So Jamal pretty much summed it up as to what we're looking for immediately for the General Services Department. But to add a little more context around it, you know, the positions that we're hiring for are responsible for the beautification of the city. And when I explain the position to often, I say it's, you know, it's landscape work for the city. We're responsible for over 300 parks, some city-owned medians, and the freeway berms. And when I sit down and interview with individuals, they come in thinking it's just a seasonal position, cutting grass. But as they work with the team leaders and work with the leadership, their mindset begins to evolve and they begin to take pride in the work that they're doing. I know I get excited when I go out to the parks and I see that the parks are cut, and I also fuss at them when I see them sitting around and I pull up when I'm driving and I say, what you guys doing? Lunch isn't this long, right? But it's a wonderful opportunity. I never knew of the world within the landscape industry and how the opportunities that can open up for individuals. I know last season we had a lot of leadership positions that we were trying to fill. So someone that comes in that will come on seasonal, they don't have to stay in that seasonal role. They come in and prove themselves and work hard. There are leadership opportunities there. Now, because we're balancing the budget and what's going on, I don't know how many of those positions would be left, but I know that we have opportunities there. Now, because we're balancing the budget and what's going on, I don't know. And before entering into COVID. So the positions are grounds maintenance, it's a park maintenance helper, it's a labor aid position. The starting range is $10.60 an hour. As Jamal indicated, we have several positions open. The shifts are Monday through Friday, 7 to 3:30 or 8 to 4:30. They can go on the city's website to apply. I'll give an email address and a telephone number if they have any calls. And then we also have the vehicle operator position, which is the CDL, which requires the commercial driver's license. not to be confused with a chauffeur's driver's license. You have to have a Class A or Class B with air brake endorsement, and we do have some of those positions. You know, seasonal positions with the city are still great. You're still afforded a full benefit package. You're still afforded medical medical insurance after 90 days, dental vision after 6 months. And so it's, again, it's just a great opportunity to come in and work, improve yourself. And we need you. The city needs you. The grass is growing. It's been raining, and we need the help. So if anyone's interested, they can apply on the city website, www.detroitmi.gov/employment. They can send an email if they have any questions to GSD for General Services Department. So GSD season@detroitmi.gov. Or if they want to give a call, I'll give a number where they can leave a message. We're not working in the office right now, but we will check the messages often. And so the telephone number would be 313-224-8584, option 4. So let me do that again. It's 313-224-8584, and they'll select option number 4 to leave a message for recruiting. And for anyone that's out there that's concerned about any background issues, you know, the city, the mayor has done an excellent job on promoting our border program and the work that we do to promote and really partner with organizations and individuals that may have been impacted by the criminal justice system. So if you're a returning citizen, you know, don't let that hinder you from applying. Lucky for you, I'm the girl on the rec, so don't let that bother you. And it's a great opportunity. I want to say also, although we're looking for positions with general services, if you go on our website, we have other opportunities. Our elections department is looking for maybe taking some new applications for some part-time work, not to exceed 120 days. Our DDOT department, at some point, will start ramping back up and hiring more bus drivers. So that's our website is an excellent source. You can go on there and create an interest card. And whenever we post a position for you, you'll receive a notice via email. But I really strongly encourage those that are listening, if you have someone 18 or over that's looking for work this summer, you know, the General Services Department would be a great place to start. We'd love to have you because we really need you.
Thank you so much. I just want to add one comment, and that is when she talked about returning citizens, and I have to indicate that Councilmember Ayers does have a returning citizens task force. And when we say returning citizens, we don't mean you coming back from Iran or Iraq or any place like that, or Africa or any place. Returning home from being incarcerated. That's what we mean. Yep, and also absolutely. The city of Detroit has a ban the box ordinance, and ban the box means that there is no box on the application that asks you to check that box if you had a felony. And in jobs such as this, there is no ban the box. There is no box for you to check, and the box has been banned. So that means you do have an equal opportunity. I always say to people, though, if someone asks you, are you a returning citizen? Did you have a felony or anything? Please tell the truth, because you can actually get the job. And when someone checks and finds out that you did not tell the truth there, then guess what? You stand a good chance of being terminated, because if you can't be trusted to tell the truth there, where else can you not be trusted at? So just tell the truth. There is a ban the box, so there is no box there. If you are asked that question, just tell the truth, because it will not be held against you in jobs such as this. And there are also animal care and control jobs out there for our returning citizens as well. And just wanted to make sure I added that, because there are jobs that are out there. If you are looking for a job, you can get gainfully, legally employed. And I want to say legally, because I don't want you to go back and have to come back as a returning citizen. I want you to get a job, get legal pay, earn legal money so that you can stay out here with us. So thank you so much, you all, for giving and providing us that information, Councilmember Ayers. Anything else you wanted to add before we go to the questions?
If I can add one thing, Council President, I know because we're in the time right now for COVID, and typically in the past we haven't been in this position where we have to put out a call such as this for these positions. And of course, what's happening nationally has impact. And so for individuals that have a concern about how the city, and specifically the General Services Department, will protect their employees, so when you go back home to your family, if Jamal can have a few minutes or a couple of seconds to talk about what safety precautions have been put in place for this group of individuals, because this is an essential job. You know, we can't work from home. They can't work from home, and so they have to be out and public facing, and some of the strategies and the precautions that the department has put in place.
Please, Jamal.
Yes, thank you, Stacey. So there's a few things that we have implemented. The first being that anyone that is employed by the city of Detroit, before they start their employment, they will receive a COVID test at our rapid testing center, and they will know within 10 to 15 minutes whether they are COVID negative or positive. If they are negative, we bring them on for employment, and we have a daily check-in. It's called a personal screening that you do online every morning. That when you get up, before you go into your place of business, your place of work, you'll go online, you fill out this form, takes about 2 to 3 minutes, and it asks you a series of questions about any type of exposure to COVID-19. Once you clear that, and it gives you a pass, that pass is emailed to your supervisor. When you get into your place of operation, you will receive a temperature scanning at the door with a thermometer, right? Takes about 3-4 seconds. And if you come under the, if you're given the pass to go to work, you still get your temperature checked. And so once you get into your place of employment, we have thoroughly stocked all of our facilities with personal protection equipment. I built a PAR system I didn't want to take daily requests of who needed what. I wanted to do it based on the number of people that were employed. So if there's 20 people working on a ground maintenance crew, I manage that from a perspective of 20 people needing a mask each day. So that's 100 masks that I would make available for that week, right? And so I built the PAR system for all of our departments. And so what we do is, so our ground maintenance crews, there are 70 trucks. We put backup kits in each truck that has a spare set of masks for every person in there, a week's supply, Lysol aerosol, rubber gloves, non-medical rubber gloves. And there's also hand sanitizer. So if anybody tears a pair of gloves or gets a mask dirty, there's always a made-ready supply right there for them. Those kits are updated weekly as we go through them. All of the department supervisors pick up their new PPE orders every Monday from me, from my department, Monday or Tuesday, depending on which day they choose. And we make sure that you guys are completely covered, that there is minimal risk. When there is someone that has not passed that test that they take in the morning, the screening, I should say, the supervisors, we get an email. It lets us know that they were flagged, they did not pass that day. They go back home, we give them a form to fill out and go to HR. HR processes that form, and they follow with HR for that next day. If they don't pass that exam or the screening the next day, then we recommend that they have a COVID test, because anybody can have an off temperature for a day. You can have a headache, you can have an allergy issue, anybody can be off for one day. But by the second day, we ask that you do get a COVID test, and we will arrange that for you. So we have all these safety measures in place, because what we want most of all is to stave off this COVID spread. And so we're not taking any unnecessary chances. We are all essential employees, and we all must do our part to make sure that we keep our staff healthy. That's why we are on so many of us are working from home. Unfortunately, I should say I'm not one of them. but I go in every day, and I tell you, I have the confidence that our city has done an adequate and sufficient job, and better than sufficient job for us. No one is worried about being at work. Our buildings are cleansed twice a day, from sanitized from, we do 2 sanitations each day for each facility. So we come through, we do our normal cleaning, but we also sanitize in the morning and we sanitize in the evening, wiping down every touchable surface with an antimicrobial that destroys coronaviruses throughout the facilities and the buildings, and anything that is touched, we keep clean. And we are, I'm really proud of how we've managed this process. We are, in the beginning, it was tough. It was hard to manage, but we have hit that sweet spot where we're doing a good job of managing it. And so anybody that comes on, a new hire to the city of Detroit, trust me when I tell you, we have your safety in our minds. It is first and foremost. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you so very much for that. Member Ayers, did you have any comments that you wanted to make before we go to question and answers?
Oh, no, I think we pretty much covered it all. I do want to thank Stacey for always working diligently with the task force. To your point, what we're trying to make sure that we do as a city is to be as inclusive as possible. We do have ban the box, so there's not a box there for someone to feel intimidated about trying to just be gainfully employed. And if there are anybody or is anyone watching or on the call, if you have a person that may need some assistance as a returning citizen, please reach out to my office, because we have started the task force for just that reason. We want to make sure that all Detroiters get an opportunity to get a leg up and supply the things for their family, take care of themselves. So again, my office number is 313-224-4248. And we do have monthly returning citizen task force meetings. So Stacey's always there helping us with that. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just also want to say Stacey works with our skilled trades task force as well. So Stacey is always rather busy. And so we truly thank you. And we truly appreciate you, Stacey, for everything that you do. And, you know, just like we appreciate all of the ones that are here with us today. We see Toni all the time. We see Jamal all the time here with us as we do our small business fair, empowerment fair. And so we just thank you guys for everything that you do as well. Sometimes I always say people tend to take people for granted. And I have no problem saying thank you for what you do. And I think, and then you all do it with a smile. And that makes a big difference. You can truly tell when somebody don't want to be someplace. When somebody don't want to do something, you can truly tell. But you guys do your jobs with a smile. And not only just a smile on your face, you have a smile in your voice as well when you do your jobs. And so I truly appreciate that. I think it's time for us to go to question and answers. Member Ayers?
Yes, ma'am, that's where we are. So, I think we need to make sure.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
We can hear you.
This is Maria Stanfield. I just want to applaud you guys for the call. First of all, it was very informational. And I think that a lot of people can benefit just from getting this information and sharing it with people who may be returning to the community or who are just looking for a job. I was very impressed with your panel. My question is, how often will these calls occur? And I'm new to it. It could be something that's been going on for the last year. I saw the information and got the information from Toni, but I definitely want to make sure that as a small business owner myself and as someone invested in the community, that I do my due diligence in listening in, not just for myself, but for others as well.
Absolutely. So we do these monthly. Council President and I started this some time ago, but we're glad that you're able to get some information. I hope that it's, you know, as helpful for everyone else as it seems to be for you. So thank you so much for participating.
And if, because we're up under the COVID-19, stay home, stay safe, we're doing the digital meetings. Normally we go out into the community and we're in different districts doing the empowerment, small business empowerment fairs. So because we are staying home and staying safe, we still wanted to make sure we inform the community, inform everyone of everything that was going on. And so we decided to continue on with the digital engagement meetings. And so that's exactly what we are doing. And so I'm sure once we're able to get back out with our mask on, we will be, and notice I said with my mask on, we will be back into the communities, but we will continue up until that time to bring them to you via digital. So thank you so much for joining us. And I am glad that you were able to get some information. Thank you, Toni, for spreading the news out. And thank everyone for making sure everyone knows exactly what's going on. If you have a question that you want to ask, you can press *9. *9 will raise your hand. If you are on Facebook Live, you can type your question in and someone will read your question and we will get your answer. Do we have anyone with their hands raised?
Not at this time, Council President, and we don't have any questions on Facebook at this time.
Okay, all right. And I know we have a second part to go into. Is there anything else you wanted to add? Any one of our panelists, was there anything else you wanted to add or anything you wanted to add, Member Ayers?
Oh, I'll turn that over to the panelists and then, you know, afterwards.
I'll just say real quick, Council President, I have always really appreciated working so closely with you. Even when I was at PLA, we were going to community meetings together. That was just really the highlight of my day. I thought so much of that you put that type of trust in me to be able to speak to the community and represent you in that way. And saying with Member Ayers, your staff inspires me. Them young guys over there, my hat's off to them. I love them guys. I miss them. I haven't seen them in a while. I'm going to remedy that though, but your staff always inspired me as well. And I love your push. And so when we had issues in lighting, you would call me, we would get together. I just really, for me, from being a community person, that was been the highlight of my career, this whole community piece for me. So being with GSD now and having more availability to do that, it's really what I really enjoy about my job. I love Detroiters, I love these people, and I love the fact that we work so closely together. That is my highlight.
No. Well, flattery gets you everywhere, Jamal, but I love my team too. So I know they out there listening. I love them. They are amazing. I love Council President's team.
Yes.
We've got some good folks. And so I think that it is important to make sure that Detroiters and folks that are listening and those that are watching understand we have people on our teams and in all of our departments that truly love this city and
Yes.
truly want to do what's right. So you know, you may disagree with somebody on a policy piece every now and then, but it's bigger than that. And
Yes.
so that's what this is about. I mean, you all on this panel, you all are amazing, absolutely amazing, because whenever we call you all, you show up and you show out. And so the love goes right back to you.
Thank you. And just thank you, Linda Wesley. We call Linda Take No Prisoners, Linda. So Council President, you have a true enforcer on your team, just so you are aware.
You think I don't know that? You just deal with her most of the time, but they all are the same, basically. So I say thank you, Jamal. I love my team as well. My team, I call my family.
Yes.
And we are together most of the time. We say we are probably together more than we are actually truly with our real family. That's how much we are together. And so I truly appreciate my team. There is no way I could do what I do without my team. And I also appreciate Councilmember Ayers' team as well.
Yes.
all managed to work relatively well together. And Jamal, we truly appreciate you as well. And thank God you are with GSD doing the things that you are doing with GSD. So we thank you and we appreciate you. And we know that we can always call you whenever we have a question or whenever we have a concern. So we thank you so much. And just as I said, we thank all of you all for what you do. You all are truly amazing. And like I said, when you're able to do it with a smile, that makes a big difference. That makes a big difference. And you all know, you've called customer service, you've talked to people before, and there have been people that you say, okay, did you get up on the wrong side of the bed today, or what's going on? Because that's the way they sound, and that's how they respond to you. And I've never heard any of you like that, and that's truly good representation for the city of Detroit. So we thank you, and you know, our guest today, Mr. Shephard, has been phenomenal. He is an awesome person to have doing business in the city of Detroit, and I am so glad that things are starting to even get better for you as other states and cities are calling you. But just let them know, Mr. Shephard, that they can't have you, that you belong to Detroit.
Knew that was coming.
Going no place. We don't care how cold it get here. You will not be moving to Texas. Let them know that. So we truly appreciate you for everything that you do. And then again, we have an outstanding interpreter that is with us, and he is awesome as well. And so we truly appreciate our interpreter who has hung in with us and who's there just interpreting everything that's going on. So we truly appreciate the interpreter as well. So do we have anyone, Ms. Wesley, before we move on to our next question?
No, Council President.
Okay, if we don't have anyone here, then we might as well tune on to our next portion of the Small Business Empowerment Fair. And so we want to just again thank everyone.
Council President, this is Stacey. Can you hear me, Council President?
Yeah.
Good afternoon. We may want to wait until 6 p.m. to begin the second part because the flyer indicated we'll be doing the outdoor cafe at 6 p.m. And I don't see I see Ariel, but I don't see our other participant who's going to be presenting at 6 p.m. So can we pause? I'll share my screen and put up the flyer for 6 p.m. So when people join, they won't have missed anything.
So you see what I mean, Ms. Member Ayers, you see how our staff, sometimes people call us the bosses, but y'all really see who the bosses are, right? Y'all really know, y'all see what's going on. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, okay, we're not gonna just keep you guys on the phone if we don't have any calls, so we would just tune out and come back at 6 p.m. for our next second portion of the Small Business Fair, which will be talking about the outdoor permit. So again, thank you all for everything you do. I look forward to seeing you all soon, but until then, make sure you stay safe.
Absolutely, amen.
And stay smart. Put that mask on.
Thank you.
That hand sanitizer when you need to use that hand sanitizer. So again, I know that's right. Again, thank you all for what you do. Thank you, Mr. Shephard, for being here in the city of Detroit, right in the community, and everything that you do in the community. And if you guys have not had an opportunity to visit Mr. Shephard, Councilmember Ayers, make it your business to visit him, because he will surprise you once you walk inside his mansion on 6 Mile. So that's his business. I call it his mansion because it's awesome. So thank you all again for everything that you do.
I know.
All right. This will conclude the first part of our meeting, and we will come back soon.
So I see we are still Facebook Live, and we are waiting to start up on our second portion of Digital Small Business Empowerment Fair, getting your restaurant ready to reopen. How to apply for a outdoor cafe permit, learn the process, and ask the questions. That will begin promptly at 6 p.m. Again, if you have any questions and you would like to call in, you may. The telephone number is 312-626-6799. The meeting ID is 850-947-268. And we are going to be speaking with Ariel Johnson, who is with Civil Rights